So you have to be happy. Elvis would be very happy about that, right?
Everyone loves Elvis.
I love Elvis. Elvis, they all say, did you know Elvis? So I knew Frank Sinatra. I knew most of them. Unfortunately, I never met Elvis, and that would be one I would have liked a lot. But I do like his music.
Tonight, President Donald Trump made one of the most unexpected stops of his current term, not at the White House, not at a campaign rally, and not at a military base, but at Graceland, the legendary home of Elvis Presley in Memphis, Tennessee. And what should have been a simple cultural visit instantly turned into a viral political moment, because Trump didn't just tour Graceland, he turned the visit into something bigger, a statement about celebrity, legacy, law and order politics, American nostalgia, and yes, himself. At one point, he said, "I never met Elvis." At another, he signed a replica Elvis guitar. He praised the King's music, talked about Memphis being safe again, and even asked a question that immediately exploded online. Could he have taken Elvis in a fight? This story went viral because it sits at the perfect intersection of politics, celebrity culture, and pure American iconography. Donald Trump visiting Graceland is not just a president touring a museum. This is one of the most media-savvy figures in modern American politics stepping into one of the most famous homes in American culture, the home of Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. And timing matters here. Trump was in Memphis for a roundtable on the Memphis Safe Task Force, where he was highlighting federal efforts tied to crime reduction in the city. But instead of leaving that as the only headline, the Graceland stop gave the trip emotion, nostalgia, and instant internet value. Reuters reported that Trump linked the drop in crime to Elvis himself, saying Elvis would be very happy about that. That's classic Trump. Turn a policy stop into a spectacle people will actually watch. And major outlets noticed the contrast. AP emphasized that this Graceland detour came while Trump was also dealing with an ongoing Iran conflict and long airport security lines linked to broader homeland security strain. That contrast made the story even more clickable. 1 minute geopolitics, the next minute Elvis. This is a strong, authentic source for the Elvis admiration lines.
Who doesn't love Elvis? Everybody loves Elvis, right? Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Hi. How are you? Nice to see you.
Welcome to the second most visited private home in America.
Wow, that's very
Your house is number one.
One of the most memorable moments of the visit came when Trump reflected on Elvis in a way that was surprisingly personal. He said, "I knew Frank Sinatra. I knew most of them. Unfortunately, I never met Elvis, and that would have been one I would have liked a lot." That line matters because it does two things at once. First, it humanizes the visit. This wasn't presented as cold politics. It was framed like a genuine cultural pilgrimage, a famous man acknowledging another American icon he never got to know. Second, it reinforces something Trump has understood for years. American politics is not just about policy, it is also about myth, memory, and identity. Elvis still carries enormous emotional weight in the American imagination, especially in the South, among older voters and among audiences drawn to classic Americana. Trump knows that, and this wasn't a random fandom claim. AP noted that Trump has played Elvis music at rallies for years and has often compared himself to Presley in public culture. He even awarded Elvis the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously in 2018. So whether you see it as sincere admiration, political symbolism, or both, the Elvis connection is not new. According to AP, Reuters, and USA Today, Trump's tour included several highly visual stops inside Graceland. Elvis's army helmet with his EP initials, the jungle room, the kitchen area, the gold phone, display items connected to Elvis's career, and a replica black guitar that Trump signed during the visit. Those are gold for editing because they give your video texture, nostalgia, luxury, Americana, and headline moments all in one package. Now, one of the most visually memorable reactions came in the jungle room. Reuters reported that Trump looked at the room and said, wait, he was way before his time. Look, he put carpet on the ceiling. That is exactly the kind of line that works beautifully in an avatar-driven video because it sounds spontaneous, visual, and instantly shareable. Then came the moment every editor should use. Trump was handed a replica of an Elvis guitar to sign. Reuters said Trump called it a big honor. asked to test the pen first so he wouldn't ruin the instrument, and then joked that Joe Biden couldn't do that and would have to send it out. That gave the visit a culture war edge. Even in a soft pop culture setting, Trump still found a way to turn the moment political. This is strong for the guitar scene and walk-through visuals. Trump was also asked his favorite Elvis song, and multiple outlets reported that he named Hurt. The Hill highlighted it clearly, and Reuters echoed it. That detail may seem small, but it helps your video feel researched and authentic. It's the kind of specific fact viewers remember and comment on. And then, of course, came the line that sent social media into overdrive. After hearing that Elvis had black belts in karate, Trump asked, "Could I have taken him in a fight?" That single sentence gave the internet exactly what it wanted: humor, ego, unpredictability, and a weirdly unforgettable headline. AP and USA Today both highlighted it because it instantly turned a ceremonial stop into a viral moment. Now here's the deeper layer, and this is where your video becomes better than competitor content. Trump did not visit Graceland in a vacuum. He was in Memphis to promote the Memphis Safe Task Force, a federal initiative tied to crime reduction. The Hill said Trump described Memphis as safe again, while Reuters reported that he tied Elvis's memory to that law and order message by saying Elvis would be happy about the drop in crime. That means the Graceland stop was not just cultural, it was political theater with a purpose. This matters because Trump is extremely good at wrapping policy messages in cultural moments. Instead of just saying crime is down, he staged a narrative in one of the most iconic American landmarks possible. He made the story more emotional, more visual, and more replayable. For supporters, this looked like Trump connecting with American heritage. For critics, it looked like brand building in the middle of bigger national and international issues. But either way, it worked. People are watching. And in modern politics, attention is power. There's another reason this visit matters. Trump and Elvis exist in very different eras, but both became larger-than-life American symbols. One dominated music and pop culture. The other dominates politics and media. Trump has leaned into that comparison before, and AP noted that he has even shared images comparing his face with Elvis in the past. AP News. So, when Trump walks through Graceland, he isn't just visiting history. He's stepping into a brand of fame he deeply understands. That's why the visit feels so sticky online. It isn't only about Elvis fans. It isn't only about Trump supporters. It taps into something broader, the American obsession with legend, image, comeback stories, spectacle, and celebrity power. And Graceland is the perfect backdrop for that because it's not just a house. It's a shrine to a man who became mythology. USA Today noted that about 500,000 people visit Graceland every year. And one staff member said Trump's stop marked only the second visit by a sitting president after George W. Bush's 2008 visit. That adds historical weight to the moment. Here's the smartest way to frame this story in your video. Not as a random celebrity detour, not as a pure fluff piece, and not as a one-sided political attack. Frame it as a case study in how Trump uses symbolism better than almost any modern politician. Because in one stop, he gave viewers nostalgia, controversy, humor, music history, visual spectacle, Memphis crime politics, and viral one-liners. That's why this is bigger than a mansion tour. It's a masterclass in attention economics. And whether people loved it, laughed at it, or criticized it, they watched it. That is the real story. So yes, Donald Trump finally visited Graceland. Yes, he said he wished he had met Elvis. Yes, he signed the guitar, praised the music, toured the Jungle Room, named Hurt as a favorite Elvis song, and gave the internet a line it was never going to forget when he asked whether he could have taken Elvis in a fight. But beneath all of that was something more important. This visit showed once again that Trump understands how to turn a political trip into a cultural event, and a cultural event into a media moment. In Memphis, at the home of Elvis Presley, he wasn't just visiting an icon. He was stepping into a symbol of American fame and making sure the cameras followed. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop your take in the comments. Was this a genuine tribute to Elvis or a perfectly calculated Trump media moment? Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because if politics turns into a viral moment, we'll break it down right here.